Hey folks, this is man once again, and since I talked about the first Ghoulies, I wanted to talk about Ghoulies 2, which is again on this DVD, and like I said before, I bought this mainly for Ghoulies 2 at a pawn shop, realized that the side for Ghoulies 1 is scratched up, doesn't work, and I didn't care, because I don't like Ghoulies 1, but Ghoulies 2 is probably my favorite of the bunch. Stories, it's pretty simple. It's directed by Albert Band, who's, I think, Charles Band's dad. And starts off with, you have our two stars. One is Damon Martin, who I swear is a ringer for Johnny Depp. Voice-wise, especially look-wise. He looks a lot like Johnny Depp. A younger Johnny Depp, a la What's Eating Gilbert Grape, or around that era. And I guess that's why I didn't mind him. I kind of liked him because, I like Johnny Depp. And he's a ringer for Johnny Depp. He really is. And for those wondering, I have a little bit of backlight since I know it looks like there's a nuclear explosion. But as you can see, it's snowing outside. So, just a little bit of backlight. But, let's see. He's with his Uncle Ned, played by Royal Dano. This is a guy who's been in a couple flicks. He was a bit role in Killer Clowns from Outer Space, among many others. I liked him too, and they're sort of talking. His nephew's there for the summer, for this, there's this carnival, and they have this attraction called Satan's Den, sort of a spook house, a fun house. I always remember the opening, where, the older gentleman, Uncle Ned, Royal Dano, was talking about, like, the magic moon. Like, yeah, pay attention to the moon, the magic moon. And, like, the opening, I didn't mind the music. And the credits, in front of the full moon. I don't know why. It always appealed to me. Or, I always remember that bit when I was a kid. Maybe that's why, because I saw this as a kid a lot of times. Ghoulies 2, and, I don't know, sometimes weird things get stuck in your mind. Then basically you have like a priest. He's running from, I guess, these Satanists, who I guess they call out the Ghoulies, and there's about 4 or 5 of them. There's a bat one. There's, I don't know if you can see these. There's the ball one. Then you have the 2 over here. One's like a cat, one's like a rat. And those 3 would be in Ghoulies 3. Then you have this one over here, which you can't see because it's too dark, but kind of looks like between a dog and a potato head. I don't know how else to describe it. It looks like between a dog and a potato head or something, so call them potato head. So there's about, 5 of them. This priest that just dumps some into this. It looked like a barrel of toxic waste just in the middle of fucking nowhere. But then this bat comes and pushes him into it, and the priest dies. And you have some stop motion, which I think they actually did a pretty good job for a low budget film from 87. And for 1987, and John Carl Beatle came back to do the effects with his company, Mechanical Makeup Imageries, and I think they're a lot better effects than the first one. A little bit more detail, and they look a lot better. And long story short, they hit you right with the Damon Martin, his character Larry, and the Royal Dano character in their truck. And basically, most of the movie takes place at this carnival, kind of like an amusement park carnival. I think that's one of the reasons why I like the movie. I think that's a good location. I think that's a neat location for a film. Even though I'm not a fan of the Fun House, Tobe Hooper's, but I thought they handled it better in this. I think also I like it better because it's more on the Ghoulies. It's not about some stupid guy who, his father was in black magic and da-da-da. It's like, it's a Ghoulies movie, and the Ghoulies are featured prominently in it. And like David Martin likes this girl, played by Nicole, played by what's the girl's name? Carrie Remsen, who she did an alright job. She did an alright job. She has a little bit backstory where she's like a dancer and she used to be in this high wire act, but then her brother died, and since then she's always been iffy of heights. So you know that's going to come into play at the end. You have this schmuck, Harden, appropriate name. Actor's name is Jay Downing. And he's come in to say, hey, you know, business has to pick up. If your business isn't doing well, you don't be closed down. The guy does a good job playing a complete schmuck, because you really hate this fucker. You know, he's a complete schmuck. And as the movie goes along, like, one girl goes into it, and the ghoulies kill her, slashing her up. The open scenes. Then you also have the Larry character, Royal Dano, the older Ned character. They have a third person in the group, a small person called Phil Fondacaro, who is, I think, is the best actor. I actually really like him. He was the only good thing in Troll. You know, it has some good makeup effects, but I'm not a fan of Troll. But Phil Fondacaro has a small role. He was good in it. He has a small role in Willow. I always remember him the most from this film because he's one of the stars. And he did a good job with it. He's a Sir Nigel. A lot of times he likes to spit out Shakespeare. Very proper. He considers himself an actor. But he did a really good job. I mean, I really liked him. And a solid actor. And, you know, he's forced to put on this sort of monkey suit to try to steer kids, and it doesn't work. But, like, some kids go in, they see the ghoulies, they think it's part of the attraction. For some reason, the kid has a fucking ninja star and throws in, one bites it, and another spits on him. They think, oh, cool. So they invite more people, and it becomes a big attraction. These 5 guys went into, like, 3 guys and 2 girls. They leave one of theirs behind as a trick on them, and that's actually William Butler. And he gets killed, because they put him in sort of one of those pendulum things, and he gets killed. And again, you don't see much. I mean, it's a low body count. I mean, you don't see much because it's PG-13. Although they do get away with some stuff, like you see a knife getting stabbed into an ankle, which nowadays they probably would not even do in PG-13. Also, like, in the third act, they have one of those dunking things where you hit it and a clown falls down. I always remember this, like, he gets up and his arm's been bitten off and you see it, and I'm like, wow, they got away with that with PG-13? Like, you wouldn't see that in, like, Gremlins. So that was kind of interesting. But like Royal Dano, he used to be a magician, but he's a drunk, and he sees these things. He thinks he called it up. They don't believe him, and he tries to stop them, but he gets electrocuted. They think it's an accident. They get ready to, the asshole schmuck takes over their business, and him and Phil Fondacaro, the little person, find out something's going on, and they gather people around to stop it. When they used to know, the ghoulies get out into the park, and in the third act, they're basically going ape shit, and you know, you get a lot of fun in it. You have like the cat-like ghoulies and the shooting range trying to shoot 2 other ghoulies who are trying to egg them on. I thought that was kind of fun with some good animatronics. The ball ghoulie like fucks up this ride, one of the spinning ones, so it flies out. Like I said, one of the clown's arm gets eaten off. All of chaos going around. The schmuck, you know, he sort of runs away to this far away to where the bathrooms are, and you see, you know, what was on here. You know, a ghoulie in the toilet, and he hides, and the guy sits down, and you just see you hear munching, and the guy screaming, and he's getting his ass eaten now, and not in the good way, not in the way we like from a beautiful woman, but from this sumbitch. You know, you don't want your ass eaten out by that thing, but you kind of like, okay, this schmuck deserved it. Although, does anyone really deserve, you know, getting their ass eaten out like that? I don't know. But all hell's breaking loose. They realize they gotta fight magic with magic, so they find this book that their uncle had from back in the old days. And like a bat takes it, of course that's where the woman Nicole, she has to get over her fear of heights. They do the magic and this big fucker comes out that looks just like probably this one over here. It looks just like him, only gigantic. And of course you realize that the smaller ball one does not get eaten. And the last shot is the bathroom and you hear a ghoulie, so they're not all dead. But this big one like kills all the other ones, eats them, and then goes after the people. They get in their trailer, and they make this sort of Molotov cocktail / bomb with Sir Nigel's little suit that he was wearing for the fun house. Even though you have to wonder, he has flames, and when the ghoulie's eating it, you would think his fucking drool and shit would douse the flame, thus it wouldn't work. So like, how would it work? He ate it. I'm sure if he could eat it, the flame didn't die. But hey, it's a movie about ghoulies, so maybe they did something I didn't understand. But Ghoulies 2, it's a fun film. It's an entertaining film. It's a film has a decent score. I think everybody mainly remembers the song by Wasp, "Scream until you like it, scream." But yeah, it's a PG-13 film. It's actually pretty decent. It's not too long. It's around 90 minutes. I think a little bit under 90 minutes. The actors do their jobs. Damon Martin looks a lot like Johnny Depp, and I didn't mind him. I actually kind of liked him. Royal Dano as the older gentleman. Doesn't have much of a role, but I thought he was pretty good. I liked the Phil Fondacaro, the smaller person. Jay Downing, he did well as a schmuck. Definitely a lot more ghoulies, and they look a lot better since John Carpenter probably had a little bit more time to see what worked and didn't work in the first film and allow them to do more. You have certain shots where they're walking in stop motion, and it's actually pretty decent for a low-budget film, I thought. And definitely a lot more action, especially in the third act, with the ghoulies causing havoc. And I like it's a good setting, the amusement park carnival. It gives a lot of life to it and room for the ghoulies to play, so to speak. And yeah, Ghoulies 2 I found much better than the first film. It's about the ghoulies, which is, if you're watching a fucking ghoulies film, that's why you're watching it. You're not watching it for some guy getting seduced by black magic. You're watching it for ghoulies. And they understood that and they went for it. And I think that's why, I think a lot of people like Ghoulies 2 more than the first film. At least I do. And again, I think this is probably my favorite. Although I do like Part 3, and you'll know why, even though a lot of people hate it. But Ghoulies 2, it's definitely worth a look, and I had fun with it. So, thanks for watching, and take care. Later.